Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Heroes like Defender of the Fatherland. Off here tonight, signing a 1 vs 1 on Angoville. Between the south, we got Stupendousman, stupendously fighting for the Soviet Union, socialism. Rolling out here with the 10th Tank Corps versus the north, we got Valkyrie, fighting for the Oberkommando West, Germany, Deutschland, fighting here for the 11th Panzer Division. And he's got breakthrough Firestorm, and, well, he went straight for Firestorm. Versus Stupendousman, Scout Rifle, Got Multi-Shock Rifle with Double Infantry Mines versus Double Infantry and Stuka-Fuss. So Valkyrie will likely imagine he's be going for flamethrowers and for some sort of machine guns. Whether he goes then for flame hits as over blitzes as Stuka bomb strikes or strikes, not bomb strikes, but rocket strikes, we'll have to see. And he got Volksgrenadiers on the way for him. Though after a cool bang, not the other way around, which indicates Valkyrie is not playing for, I think, highly aggressive opening, though he's still sort of spreading out across the map, going for wider frontage. As Stupendousman focuses hard on the eastern side here with conscripts and engineers, so there's a bit of a left push there as well. A left wing, if you will, for Stupendousman as conscripts are being switched over there. Kubelwagen rushing straight for the fuel pump, with Volksgrenadiers being sort of left to cover up. They're leaving the Sturmpioneers basically sort of just to tie up valuable resources with Stupendousman on the eastern side, though. In that case, he should be moving away from the houses as much as possible, since if the opponent gets into the first, the Sturmpioneers won't be as good. We're seeing the open, they're just over going to be performing better. Then again, he might have an opportunity to push for the car point here and make things a bit miserable there for Stupendousman. He's almost got the western fuel pond there for the fatherland. We got a second Volksgrenadier squad on the way there for Valkyrie and the 10th Panzer Division. Versus here the men of the 10th Tank Corps. Sturmpioneer versus conscripts. Sturmgewehr versus Mercenagans. Sturmpioneers in this case, I don't think got quite close enough. And also just overall took a path that was much more straight on. Exposed out there, allowing the conscripts to get off a lot of good hits. And he's sort of taking a path that sort of went more sort of here and sort of stuck more to the light cover. The conscripts were able to do less damage to the Sturmpioneers. They approached them more likely able to win that engagement. So that's like how you can sort of try and make better use of your assault units. Over here, got Volks versus conscripts defending the fuel pond there while also trying to seize it. Kubani can flank behind the conscripts, doing some damage as well. That should overall lead to a crossfire, but the conscripts will be forced away. The question is, will he try and rush in to actually prevent the fuel pond from being rendered neutral? That Valkyrie does not, and that does perhaps buy Stupendousman down the road a bit more time and a bit more of an edge. Stupendousman going up with more conscripts. Sturmpioneers reinforcing it as more Volksgrenadiers right as well, Valkyrie. I mean, if you're going for any sort of plan that involves the assault packages, I mean, you only kind of want to be a bit fast with the taking on the battle group headquarters, just to sort of quickly get at least one squad with MP40s that way pressing. Stupendousman that keeps here hitting sort of points here and there. He's not trying to commit to any sort of larger scale engagements as of yet, just sort of smaller pricks here and there, hitting valuable and soft targets like the car point here, forcing Valkyrie to react to this, and he tends to sort of react heavily with a lot of his forces, which of course leaves other bits rather naked from infantry. So overall, here's Stupendousman delivering some very good pressure point strikes against Valkyrie, giving a bit more perhaps of initiative. We'll have to see how that lasts and for how long. Meanwhile, there might be some tech up here, them company maybe. I mean, with all these conscripts, certainly seems more likely to aim for that. We've got field infirmary up first, though. Conscripts getting to the house here, of course, they are likely to get hit with incendiary grenades. Brandhandgranaden. But Valkyrie is pushing in very hard. He's going to hit Stupendousman's calf bomb. He's had enough of Stupendousman's harassment, so he's going to try and apply some severe pressure on his own. Lastly, pushing for that. He could lay down some sandbags there. Monkeys moving up. And folks, they're taking some nastier losses. Forcing them back as Stupendousman counterattacks from the motherland. He's not quite intent on letting Valkyrie have this one this easily. So we got folks that are just tying up and trying to just course of engagement that just bleeds Stupendousman of resource, make it hard for him to push ahead, and also makes it easier for Valkyrie to defend. Battle group headquarters is going up here, should soon be done, in which case he'll be popping out submachine guns. He might also be here in the only one which consider flamethrowers for the Sturmpioneers, but he's not. They could always be effective, a lot of heavy cover, and overall, like Sturmpioneers, the flamethrowers, they're just good, like really good. It doesn't even have to be map dependent, to be honest. Like Sturmpioneers, the flamethrower just perform above the average of any other Sturmpioneer squad. They just do a lot more damage, and they also eventually up a lot faster. So I mean, Sturmpioneers, the flamethrowers, they're just good. And there we go. Actually, he merges us in conscripts and he's trying to make them a bit longer there just in case they get flamethrowers out. Nice move there. Merge again. Very overlooked ability, but nice work there by Stupendousman. Even in this case, he didn't succeed in a particular lot. He still made the effort, which is, you know, start. So we got a Flammev out here for the Stupendousman. We got conscripting against the front. Stupendousman, and there you go. Don't quite make it into cover there, which actually saves them a bit there. They're still kind of bunched up, which still helps the flamethrower since, remember, flamethrower is actually an AoE weapon. Which is also why it's not particularly concerned with, you know, if the unit is suppressed or not. And of course, there's a bit of accuracy, but still, that basically means if your units are bunched up, the flamethrower becomes that much more effective. So here the Sturm Pioneers are wreaking havoc on the console. It's going to be pretty close. It's going to be pretty close. Almost 52 in that Sturm, but you can see there again. Their veterans jump a lot faster for that flamethrower because they can do a lot more damage. Though they are really low on health, and that's actually pretty risky there for Valkyrie. They could go ahead and blitz, rush it up, and send reinforcement at the front line. They're actually pretty strong, plus they didn't get the benefit of the blitz's ability to reduce the reload. So, I mean, there's a lot of benefits to actually just getting out of blitz from his laying down mines and going for a flak half track. I mean, that's also pretty helpful. Though the Sturm Pioneers need to retreat. I mean, this is too risky, Valkyrie. This is way too risky. It looks like Valkyrie realizes this and hits retreat. At the same time, the Stupendousman realizes there's a good chance to hit the west, and he does so. He strikes for the motherland. He also goes for Guard Rifle, other than that for submachine guns and Guardsmen. To strike at the heart of fascism. That's Berlin. This isn't Berlin. Shut up, Petrov. No one likes a spoiled sport. So flak half track there halfway down, took them back for healing reinforcement, Kubak and wedding repairs, 7 kills. That's actually pretty good. And overall we can see that just Stupendousman is pushing ahead aggressively, since pretty much all of Valkyrie's forces are pushed away. And this is, you know, when Opal Blitz could have helped Valkyrie just a bit. We're getting upgrades on the Volksgrenadiers. There we go. We got one Sturmgewehr package up there, a few assault rifles for the fatherland. And there you go, 251-17 arriving here for Deutschland. Setting ahead there. And we got Guardsraffen out here for Stupendousman. As soon as he saw that flak half tech, you know, he needed something that just helped deal with it. Interesting to note, Stupendousman could also, you know, just take it and go for a field gun, but he aims here for Guardsmen initially, since they are out faster than a supporting company in a field gun, which is a bit of a longer process overall. Submachine is going up for the conscripts as they hit the cuff bomb again, looking to deny and delay fuel for Valkyrie, and thus, you know, delay tech. So very good moves there by Stupendousman. Overall, sort of very good sort of tactical presence here and sort of operational control of the map. Back here, reinforcement, going to tank grenades up to Stupendousman to help deal with the vehicles. We still got no real tech. And there go Guardsmen dealing with the Volksgrenadiers out in the open, getting us some good hits. No light machine guns though to assist with that. We got the Sturm Pioneers moving ahead for the fatherland. There you go. Conscripts, the Sturm Pioneers. He's ignoring them. He's focusing on the. There you go. Realize there's some Russians firing at him. And there you go. Sets about. There you go. Veterans T2 gained. The Russians begin dropping like very large flies. As the Sturm Pioneer flamethrower combo there is proven to be exceedingly hazardous for the health of the average Soviet soldier. And there you go, one MP40 team there mobilized for Valkyrie and the fatherland. You also got MD34s out so further suppressive elements, and there you go, contributing against the Sturm Pioneers. Strange the flamethrower and the assault rifle, though of course with the submachine guns taking all too a lot, though they then run into the heavy cover, which then of course improves the Sturm Pioneers' bonus against them. In this case, the sort of breaks, retreats. Was kind of a risky move there though by Stupendousman. Was kind of risky. And like Kednev, we can clearly see that Valkyrie is worried about enemy light vehicles, and certainly that makes sense. I do think you should be a bit more active with this flak half track rather than just parking it down over there. I mean, he might as well just park the MG34 over there and then, you know, get the flak half track, go towards these ones with large support. You got Assault Chief, doesn't have the munitions for a smoke grenade, but instead he just pops a regular grenade, or Brandhand grenade in this case, which also works. The problem with the feed, just, you know, smoking in the house, preventing the guards from them firing, and then sort of sneaking in. Then again, he might want to smoke out this position. That kit troops healing, reinforcing, And there goes Stupendousman taking up for the motherland. The 10th Tank Corps is getting ready for some light armor. And there you go, flak after taking up. Conscripts being torn apart out in the open as the conscripts get shot to bits with MP40 Carnot TKs and Sturmgewehr. And there you go, the flak after take also just further adding to the pandemonium of death. And there he goes, Stupendousman suffers a full wipe as his men get shredded in the open. The German army shows no mercy, no clemency. Up here, reinforcement healing, troops preparing, and a mine goes off. Several casualties there for Valkyrie's forces. Still no sign of the Opel Blitz, no mobilization of his men, no attempt to just get them better field presence against Stupendousman, allowing him to hold ground better, which is definitely always a good thing. Troops are getting absolutely shredded there, but the flak after again really potent, and definitely for the most part I think sort of has replaced the looks for a lot of players because it's cheaper. You don't quite need an expensive truck either. It doesn't work out healing, and you know, it looks cool. Plus it has suppression. So I'm definitely seeing a lot more flak half tracks since after the patch than I've seen Luxes. A lot more. Conscripts hitting the dirt, they just increase the chances. A cannon now for 5 folks moving up, they're taking losses out in the open, but there you go, Brandhandgranate. And there you go, that finally convinces Stupendousman's conscripts they want to be somewhere else. Sturmpanies by halfway to Veteran 3, and once they hit that, then Veteran 4 and a 40% accuracy bonus is not far away, and once they hit that one, Stupendousman is really going to be in for a rough day against them. They got the lightest infantry Geschütz out here, ready to provide artillery support for the men of the 10th Panzerdivision. That obviously would be one of the regular battalions and not one of the Gepanzerte Bataillonen. That was usually the 1st battalion. Each Panzer division only had 1 battalion of men in armoured half-tracks, the rest of them in trucks, or depending on the situation, cars maybe, or bicycles. In particular, as the war went on, there's an increasingly large amount of men on bicycles. Bicycle, bicycle, I want to ride my bicycle. Actually, we stole that one from the Dutch, Ludwig. Shut up, I'm trying to sing here. I'm trying to sing and have some fun. We're on the Eastern Front murdering Russians. Yeah, what's wrong in having some fun while doing that? I never quite could get a hold of you. Engineers getting blasted by the flak half track. And these conscripts are on the point here, and up here we got reinforcement healing. Truck moving up, there's got to probably go up the Schwerpunted course to cover his fuel point. And we got a large assault here, supported by the MD-40 on the flak half track against the house, laying down a storm of suppressive firepower as the infantry charges forwards. Incendiary barrels going for the infantry. They take the wrong door, right in front of the machine guns, and the flak half track can move just in time. Oh, those guardsmen. Oh, they're dead. Anyways, there's actually a DP light machine gun drop, but they can't pick it up. The only squad that isn't upgraded is back at base. And the Kubelwagen then now. That was a bit of a minor loss there. Still, he's gotten quite a few wipes into Stupendousman. The MP40 folks are certainly showing the wealth up close. Also, apparently, they have take aim. Like, they have an aim time actually there, which most submachine gun units are. A friend pointed that out to me. That was a bit. I mean, you generally don't notice, but apparently he's sort of been the one that's noticing it. I don't know what that says that about him. Anyways, troops sending out there. No, he's shifting the truck from the west to the east. That's an interesting choice there by Valkyrie. Also a bit more risky. I mean, you can certainly hold more prime real estate, but it also makes it a bigger target, which you want to be careful. There you go. Stielhandgranate doing some light damage. Got the 250 up. They need to be a bit careful with how he moves it, though. And there you go, constantly getting blasted by it, suppressed in a matter of moments. Sturmpani is moving up. There we go, pushing back the foot conscripts. We got the Schwerpunted causing up. That's going to get a lot of flak down the eastern side. And we got the SIS-3 divisional field gun going up. Flak half tracks needs to be positioned to somewhere less exposed. Troops are healing and reinforcing. And we got a mortar out there for Stupendousman. He's also taking up there further. He's clearly not planning any light vehicles. He's just going to move ahead there for the T-34s, maybe in the KV-1s. I think that's a particularly better here versus Valkyrie. He's going to need something with a bit more impact, and also something that puts some more pressure on Valkyrie's men. Sturmpanzer by gaining virtually 3. And they've gained basically ahead of any other unit on the battlefield. So again, like, that's just the difference getting flamethrowers and your Stupendousmans can make. Like, that is a big difference. And it should not be taken lightly. D-3476 on the way there for Stupendousman. Mechanically pushing ahead for the mortar crew. Gonna try and wipe it, maybe even steal it. MP40 Stupendousman. Meanwhile, the other forces just left without any sort of close quarters weapons as the submachine gun wielding comes to get up close. But there you go. Almost got the mortar crew. We got conscripts there with a DP light machine gun opening up on them, doing as much as they can there. Some brutal close quarters action. Then Max following up for Stupendousman to help contain some old Valkyrie's infantry. Probably going to down that sooner, to be honest, but there you go. And those chaps need to get away before they get wiped out. And he should be more careful about bunching up his men so close when he knows there's a mortar back into opponent's space, which in theory, you know, could land a really accurate hit and wipe them. And there you go, MP40s there. Of veterans, you feel for the MP40 Volksgrenadiers, and hang on. Cat break, the cat wants to go out. Fuzzy little bastard. Now then, back to the fight. Shall Valkyrie go for the Oberblitz, Obersoldaten, Panzerforce, or Panthers? Or Flammenhetzer? Is he going to go for that Oberblitz? And when is he, if he is so? Got the T-3476 out of around there for Stupendousman and the 10th Tank Corps. Rolling ahead for the motherland. Moving ahead there. Schwer punted quarters with its 30mm flak. Stupendousman hit a flare, and that kills some poor bastard. But there you go, going straight for the Schwer punted quarters. You can sort of see again here the issue with sort of positioning it there. While again it covers some prime real estate, it also means he's just more likely to get shot at the same time, and that is of course not without its problems. In particular now, of course, his field gun moving up. The opponent's field can move up here. In this case, a small shed is kind of helping, but if we just reposition a bit, he can do a lot of damage. So right now, Valkyrie might be in for a nasty problem. Because if we lose it without getting anything out of it, that's just going to be a massive resource waste for Valkyrie and the German army. That's going to be a huge setback, and that's going to last Stupendousman to really pull ahead. He needs to put back his T-34 for repairs. Mortar crew, they're taking losses from the light Infanteriegeschütz. And we got a Stuka strike in here. Stuka's the first strike. And oh dear, house collapses, almost wiping out a lot of Stupendousman support teams, but they do get away for the most part. Except for some, they did. Very dead. So right now, Stupendousman here is a bit on the defensive. His opponent having a lot more infantry than him, with a certain degree more firepower. As you might be noticing, the MP40 wielding Volksgrenadiers are doing a lot of damage. Like, they are pretty damn close. You can first get them up close. Particularly, you can also make use of the grenades. They are pretty lethal. I'm surprised there's not mobile commandos players who are just, you know, going for a lot of them. There you go, T-54 moving hit there. Tactically an advised move there by Valkyrie as he moves straight into the Kettenwerfers and other unpleasantries. Flare trip mine goes off. He's been very good there with laying down flare trip mines. So other mines have not so much appeared. Then it's also finally back to harass in the west, which is certainly something we could have been doing a bit more of to relieve pressure off the east. As we have seen here, Valkyrie has a slight tendency of overreacting to such things, which could, you know, relieve a lot of pressure off the right side. But Stupendousman, I definitely think, needs more infantry support here, because that's all this, just 3 infantry squads, is not enough as a Soviet player. I mean, it's either that he's going to have to land some wipes very soon here on Valkyrie. So we'll see what Stupendousman does end up doing. And there you go, Valkyrie's aiming here for Panther, a Panzerkampfwagen 5. Constantly up dealing with the Volksgrenadiers out and forcing that into the open. There you go, forcing a retreat entirely. Got the mortar crew moving, but that's not even been reinforced. Oh dear. So it's got the western fuel point as well. That's going to give Stupendousman there quite a fuel infusion. You also got the flak half check back. They almost forgot it. It's not like he lost. It's just Valkyrie didn't use it much. And right there he makes a mistake. Gets down to tank grenade it. Though I don't think Stupendousman barely might have a chance to get something up to maybe sort of finish it off. But right now it does not look to be having that. Panther almost done there for Valkyrie. And the 10th Panzer to be shortened. Stupendousman there just hanging about there, maybe aiming for a K1 in this situation. And there we go. Field gun on the spot, moving at the conscript up spot for it, though he can't afford to. Oh, there we go. These maximum allowance to ignore the Volksgrenadiers with MP40s. Oh, that been pretty grim there for the conscripts. There we go. Through the smoke, getting suppressed. They were still within range of popping out a tank grenade, destroying Valkyrie's flak half track. But the Panther has arrived. The Panzerkampfwagen 5 has arrived in Dunkelgelb. With the T-54s from 6th on the way for Stupendousman. He's got 2 field guns though, which will be able to, present a sizable threat to the Panther, particularly, ends up accidentally exposing the rear armor to the anti-tank gun positions, which is generally something you should be a bit cautious about. Since, this rear armor is a particularly weak spot of the Panther, and in fact, Panther crews were instructed to always keep the frontal armor towards the enemy, since, that was their strongest point. Down alongside with the front of the turret. The earlier models, as you might notice, with the rounded turret, they had a slight tendency of projecting the shot into the top of the tank, which they fixed on the Model G of the Panther, with adding a slight chin, if you will, that sort of prevented shots from being, deflected into the top of the tank. Panther pulling back for repairs. In the far west, constantly with Volksgrenadiers, he's moved up a few elements to deal with that. In the end, the conscripts will succeed, though, because there's not enough elements. We got the Kedron moving in, or Tiefin moving in. Actually, if you can steal the Kedron, that'd be pretty big there for Stupendousman. Big assault here, not trying to protect the western city, just pushing here with his, a maximum setting up, but that's not setting up in the right direction. Also, his mortar crew is about to get swarmed by the Germans. The MP40 teams lead the charge, sweeping the Russians with lead and leaving them quite dead. And go wiping the mortar crew and stealing it for the fatherland. Meanwhile, here in the west, Kedron have secured. Panther moving about there and pulling away, realizing on its own that in support, that's a pretty bad idea. They got air support called in here, but Stupendousman a bit late here, but nonetheless, the Sturmweg strike. Cannons tearing into soft, exposed Germans out in the open. Holy smokes! Almost wiping the MP40 squad. There it goes, acted pretty quick here this time, Valkyrie, with the anti-aircraft mode, leading it to fire down at the aircraft. Constant unit setting out. Creeping out to secure the western victory point. And both aircraft shot down. In this case, knocking a huge hole in the hedges there, and the other side just damaging the house and leaving it on fire a bit. The loss of the mortar will mean that Valkyrie possesses quite an artillery edge here, with both a mortar and a light infantry gun. Also, fun fact, apparently the 37mm flak could also be fired as artillery. They apparently even had like airburst shells prepared for it. Interestingly enough. Which they also had for the flak 88. Foxy charging into the conscripts. Artillery fire there, Brandhand gun going off, T-34s from 6 setting out for Stupendousman. Going back to the eastern side of the map, people, most of the action is happening, though Valkyrie is now getting a bit more keen on the western side again, and is dispatching most of infantry, but with no support. And what is this? We get a howitzer up here for Stupendousman. The 152mm gun howitzer. Eventually, there, 7-time Panther moving up the eastern side. Folks are pushing out the country into the open. Panther dealing with them there. They might want to turn the front of the Panther to get the whole machine gun on them as well. Still, the countries are softening heavily to the Panther. Could be another wipe, which would be quite critical for Stupendousman. T-54 shoots, and it bounces not spectacularly off the Panther's frontal armor. Stupendousman going for a second squad there with minesweepers there working hard and fixing up the schwerer panzered quarters, which will represent how most German anti-aircraft assets would have been self-propelled as they were. They were mounted to trucks or half-tracks of the less than armoured kind, as a fun note. Folks were sitting out there with 34 kills. There we go, folks was out there taking fire from the T-34-76. And we got the howitzer firing here, looking to silence some targets. Firing at the sharp-punted quarters. I mean, he could probably look to fame some more squishy targets for the artillery to destroy rather than the sharp-punted quarters. It's a bit, I think, difficult for sort of the artillery just to destroy. Panther on the fire from the Kettenwerfer. T-54 over the damaged engine. Sharp-punt, or the howitzer is yet to hit anything. There are some steel punties here, which could become, you know. Oh, collateral damage, and there we go. Get several kills. No wipes, but certainly 4 kills with a single hit is certainly quite impactful there for the howitzer. It certainly leaves Valkyrie a bit short on troops, forcing them to retreat there, except he's still moving them ahead now. So the artillery strike did some damage, but I think the overall bigger effect is going to be psychological rather than, you know, practical. Also, he should retreat that one steel pine. It would be a waste to lose them to any sort of, you know, random thing. Valkyrie still seems reluctant to consider even the Opel Blitz, and we got a second Panther for Valkyrie. 2 Panthers now. That is a lot of armor, and could probably well handle lead, I think, to a decisive victory for Valkyrie, in particular supports with infantry and maybe an Opel Blitz. Hitting the western point there. Gonna need to fix up his Panther there. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. Second Panther almost done, and we got the howitzer unleashing hell again. This time hoping to get some wipes inside the base, but it's not particularly effective. You're better off just trying to sort of locate an assault where Valkyrie commits a lot of infantry close together and then sort of trying to destroy them with this running. You're just hoping he gets lucky with this, because it's kind of going to be a waste of artillery. I mean, again, there might be some psychological pressure of it, and it could commit Valkyrie to maybe make a mistake and attempt to silence the howitzer when in reality it's not a particularly big threat, but for most players, I mean, just having artillery fire at you just adds some pressure, because you just never don't want that unit to get, you know, wiped. So there you go, both Panthers good to go. We'll have to see how Stupendousman reacts to the arrival of 2 Panthers and what Valkyrie plans with them, because it is a sizable armoured force. Going straight towards east is sweeping away Stupendousman's eastern forces here. And straight to mine. At least the Panthers weren't too close. They didn't. Alright, pull back, Panthers. Good. No, no, what? He's going, I think, for the howitzer. He's sending in 1 Panther far ahead of the rest, past anti-tank guns, exposing his rear to it to take on the howitzer? Jeez, I mean, that howitzer might not directly have done a lot of damage, but this is one hell of a response from Valkyrie. He's willing to suicide a Panther for a howitzer? He's completely lost it. I mean, he could just, you know, gather some infantry, gather the tanks, made a more concerted direct assault on the position, clearing away things in between him and the howitzer, and then destroyed it. Instead, he made a rush where he was willing to pretty much just toss away a Panther. I mean, the howitzer isn't worth a Panther. That was a terrible trade. God-awful deal. I mean, that just feels like, you know, a response just born of some kind of extreme stress from howitzers. I mean, honestly, just can't imagine why he'd be able to just conduct such a disproportionate trade, he'd throw away a Panther for a howitzer. The howitzer body, I think, costs sort of roughly around 450 man-pound, 50 fuel. The Panther costs 490 man-pound, 185 fuel. Well, that was weird. His Stupendousman's gone for another tank. Meanwhile, Valkyrie is not going to try and place the Panther. He's now going for a Flammhetzer. Like, I think he should just try and stick to double Panthers, as that thing's going to have some more impact in some ways. And again, versus tanks, certainly better. Jeez. That was just a real throw there with a Panther. Direct hit on the Panther from the SIS-3 field gun, veteran 2, half to veteran 3. Probes and there. Ah, dear, dear, dear. Dude's been pushed away. He needs to wipe losing his Sturm Pioneers. This in particular, the almost veteran 4 Sturm Pioneers would be an absolute waste of manpower there for Valkyrie to lose. So Flammheads is almost done. But he's now going to be facing off against 2 T-54 supported by 2 field guns with the Panther and the Flammheads. Don't think that's quite going to work out the way he'd hoped for. I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems unlikely. And there you go, got the Flammheads out, and that means the only thing he hasn't bothered with in this doctrine so far is the old Blitz. We should add here the machine gun, though, to the headset, which is still a bit annoying. I mean, they sort of went for the man version, because the thing is, it did not need it. The MG34 was known as Rundumsfeuer machine gun gewehr, which basically means all-around machine fire. Like, you just operate from inside the headset, or the Stufe 3G, which would also mount it on. I think also the Stufe 4, you can just sort of cover around the entire sort of 360 degrees. But it's kind of weird they sort of just, you know, actually went for the one that quite summoned to be manned instead of just allowing the machine gun to swivel around on his own. So that was a bit weird. Oh well. Oh, they got the Flammheads, they're rolling ahead, burning wet conscripts. Without adding a machine gun though, which feels a bit funny. Doing some damage as the conscripts out in the open. Getting anti-tank grenaded. There you go. Murdering the maximum crew there. Taking out almost the entire unit. We got a Raketma creeping up into Valkyrie's base here. Sturm Pioneers slightly covering the flank here of the Panther. Good work. Field guns moving out. Need to cover there with the Flammheads. And unfortunately, they take directly up close, wiping out most of the unit. Panther gets a good hit, but the MP40 folks, because we just retreat. Flammheads there, I think, is very wisely retreating as well. Bit more shooting there. And we got another howitzer up here, forced Stupendousman. Use the Kednev as a spotter. It just fires into it anyway, despite knowing I think there's nothing there. That feels a bit weird, to be honest, by Stupendousman. I mean, if you just knew where the opponent concentrated, like here, if you just hit that with it, so that more likely to get maybe the mortar, the machine gun, or both. That just feels kind of wasteful there by Stupendousman. Again. Still a machine gun upgrade for the Flammhetzer. And there you go, howitzer spotted. It was really exposed, so I mean, that just feels like a waste of resource on several levels there by Stupendousman. At least this time the Valkyrie did not sacrifice a Panther for it. There you go, Flammhetzer ambushed here by the Kedmerfer. Quickly taking down to less than half health. Might be able to take out the next shot. Constantly hanging about. Photos retreating. And the Flammheads is just backpedaling as fast as possible to avoid total annihilation at the hands of the Russians. Finally, the conscript taking down. There you go. T-54 flanking the Panther. Gets a good hit there. Might get another hit pretty quickly. And there we go. Panther down to less than half of it. It is close to veteran too. So those were some rather unnecessary shots to take there for the Panther. And the T-54 moving in. Light infantry gun needs to pull away. We got the infantry guns moving up. I guess we'll division field guns up as well there. Light infantry gun wiped out here by the T-34. Panther taking hits from the CIS-3. Need to pull back the Panther. T-34's going in. Pull back the Panther. Virtue 2 for the Panther. Shooting up, but it's taking too much damage already here. It's struggling to get away due to the narrow point here. Thanks to the Schwerpunch force apart as well there, by the way. Blitz and wait, but the T-34's too close. Penetrates the armor. Knocking out the Panther. Killing the crew. And now the Schwerpunch corps in the fire from both field guns and a T-34. Panther fires from the T-34 might get hit with the Schwerpunch quarter, but even that might not happen fast enough. And there you go. Schwerpunch quarter knocked out as well here. All of a sudden, Valkyrie has lost most of what he had, and all he's left with is a Flammenwerfer, while his opponent's got 2 T-34s. And he can keep getting more of them. We get air support now called in for Stupendousman. This time, there is no anti-aircraft support to fire down. You got the Flammenwerfer moving in there. So right now, Valkyrie is in a very sticky position here versus Stupendousman. Very sticky. You might be able to get that T-34, which is something. But there's still another T-34, there's still the air support, and there's still the fact he can't easily get any more tanks. Flammenwerfer there close to being knocked out. Down to half health. We got incendiary armor piercing rounds here from the MP40s. Stupendousman getting wiped. Now that's a big loss there for Valkyrie. They were finally hitting veterans before, but there's just too many Russians. Got the Flammenwerfer moving forward. Still no machine gun bomb, burning away at the bunched up Russians, but exposed itself to tank grenades and field gun fire. It takes too much damage. He gains veterans, he's won. Got the machine gun supporting it. They might still just get pelted to death by anti-tank grenades. Another T-34 on the way there for Stupendousman. 7 kills for the Flammenwerfer. Stupendousman just churning out the T-34s now.
We have a new T-34 standing by.
So what is Valkyrie going to do with the damaged Flammenwerfer and some Volksgrenadiers? He's also upgraded the other squad with MP40s, but there you go, 41 kills. Damn impressive, but sadly not enough when you begin trading Panthers for howitzers. Why would you do that? Crewing a kid with right on the 2 T-34's noses. That seems a bit awfully ambitious there by Valkyrie. And go third T-34 for Stupendousman. He's got definite arm advantage, and there is absolutely nothing Valkyrie can do about it since, you know, he lost his Schwerpunch quarters.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands. It is finished. Your orders.
More tripwire flare mines there from Stupendousman. Unfortunately caught in the open by the T-34s. The results are a very hasty retreat there. And losses are being inflicted. The Kedmev's being moved up here as Stupendousman's T-34 just roll ahead and easily outmaneuver the Kedmev. In fact, they could easily wipe it, and also troops are bunched up, so in theory they could just maybe even try and run them over. Almost got like Kedmev another Panzerfast off here, damaging the engine, but like Kedmev, the crew does go down. The Volksgrenadiers are exposed out in the open. The Flammenwerfer looks to be the next target here. If the shots can penetrate the 60mm will slope down, but there you go, third T-34. Max armor concentration in for Stupendousman. Ace T-34 from 6, the hero of the Soviet Union. Order of Lenin. Order of Stalin's mustache. And there you go, Valkyrie surrenders as his base is now being trampled by T-34 from 6. A brutal battle here with a lot of armor, a lot of nasty firepower going on, then heavy losses on both sides. Though mostly in Stupendousman. In the end though, Valkyrie though made some really questionable choices at times. Again, the Panther after the howitzer, that was a terrible choice. Again, he could have done that a lot better, but he seemed to just crack under the pressure of the artillery. There was also times he just, you know, flank better with his infantry. The lack of over-blitz will give him better field presence. No mines to compensate for that either. It was just in some ways his strategy had some issues. I think it's sort of handling his opponent. I also feel like that trap on his quarters was not positioned better. And then, of course, no machine guns for the flumheads. But even then, you should aim for a second Panther instead of a flumhead. So then you're going to go on for a flumhead. So there were some, I think, issues as the game went on for Valkyrie that made it a lot easier for Stupendousman to turn the game around, do some serious damage. Stupendousman could have benefited from some mines here and there, maybe some earlier machine guns and mortars and whatnot, rather than how late he went for it. But overall, I think, a rather interesting fight here on Angoville. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send a new plan and some feedback in the comment section. And if you like what I do, consider donating or pledging on Patreon. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial signing off, and see you all another time. Cheers.